women, and I've never had the dream of, oh, this beautiful wedding. When I grow up, I'm going to be this princess bride. But I've always had a significant other in my future. Like when I was dreaming, there's always been a significant other, right?
Yeah.
And coming here, I didn't fully think about what that would look like, where I'm going to meet people, how I'm going to interact with people. Would I even be found attractive? You know, like what's attractive in the land that I'm going to? You know what I mean? Would I even be attractive? And yeah, coming out, yeah, dating has been hard. Because, you know, when you're chasing your dream, I feel like I need to put 110% in my dream. Nothing else should matter. I have changed my career. I cannot be dilly-dallying in love things and relationships. But it really is a part of my desire. It's really part of my desire. I have to be honest with myself, honest with God, that I desire to be in a relationship. I desire marriage.
I feel like putting relationships aside in order to chase your dream is more something that I had in my 20s, like that kind of mindset.
Yeah.
But I feel like the older I grow, the more I'm aware of my desire for partnership. I don't see a relationship as getting in the way. I see it as complementary. And I mean, we all know like that scientific research about how people generally have longer lifespans if they're in, you know, stable and healthy relationships. So we all know there's like a scientific benefit to partnership and relationship.
For me, in taking this pivot and changing my whole trajectory in terms of career, I feel like I'm 20 again. Like I feel like I've had to start all over again, and all that adulting, you know, I'm starting from scratch.
Yeah.
And I'm in spaces with people that are in their 20s. So it's just, for me, I do feel like I have to have a sense of myopia in terms of how I'm gonna go at my dream.
Yeah.
To your point, yeah, there is another part of me that is so awakened that I need to learn how to go on this journey with them concurrently. You know, yeah.
For me, one of the things that have been hard has actually been naming the desire
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
in a relationship. You know, I think it's something I've like more secretly desired.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think owning that desire and being in relationship with that desire has been a journey for me, and something that I'm still figuring out. You know, what does it mean for me to be intentional about it?
I completely relate to that, and I wanted to like ask you guys, what do you think like that is? Like, where do you think it comes from that we don't feel confident as women to say, I want to be in a relationship or I want to be in a partnership? Is it that there's this expectation that we should be independent?
I know for me, it's like just, I guess, embarrassment almost.
But
like to be
why?
able to say that this is what I desire, and it's the one thing I desire that I can't go after. Because I feel like people look at me like, is there something wrong with you? Do you like chew your toenails? Like, why are you not in a relationship? If you desire it, why are you not in it? What is wrong with you? You know, and so it's easier for me to just be like, yeah, no, it's not what I want right now. It's not that time for me right now. That's not my season. You know?
So you think it's more because it's out of our control when it's not happening? We don't want to seem disappointed or that we're not winning or whatever.
That we're not winning, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
The image that's coming up for me is stating the desire and the desire not being met.
Yes,
What does it mean to live in that space of naming your desire and your desire not being met? And what does that say about me? you know,
Yeah, exactly. What does it say about me?
a deeper level.
Yeah.
It actually speaks to the idea that there's this perception that people who find relationship, like they've like figured out some kind of formula. Or they've like,
That's exactly what I was
yeah, or like this, they're kind of like special, or they're lucky, they're the lucky ones, and it's almost like, oh, like what's wrong with me? Am I just like an unlucky person? Am I not one of the lucky ones, or have I like not figured something out? Then there's also the question that comes from other people where it's like, why are you single?
That
And it's like, I don't know. You know? And it's like, you know, and it forces you to ask whether there is something wrong, you know. But I read this article that was actually like very liberating, but also slightly depressing because it didn't have a solution. And it was called The Real Reason Why You're Single.
Oh.
And it basically said that it's not because you haven't figured something out, because when you look at all of the partnered people, a lot of them are just as lost and just as broken as the rest of us. It might just be that the combination of the right person and meeting them at the right place at the right time, those three factors, for whatever reason, just so happen to not have come together.
Yeah.
You know, and it's got nothing to do with you and you having figured life out, because you see other people haven't necessarily figured it out either.
Where do you think openness comes into the conversation? Is there a correlation between like the chance of that happening and you being open?
Right.
This is a very key question. Because I've been having this exact same question with some friends recently. When you are single for long, as you know, and a young woman, people are constantly telling you, oh, it must be because your expectations are too high, or it must be because you're very, very picky, or whatever. And so they're constantly like, oh, you should put yourself out there, or you should like lower your standards, or whatever, right? And so I feel like throughout my 20s, I was like self-assured that I wasn't being too picky. I tested all of my so-called standards or whatever, and I felt like they were reasonable. But then the older I got, the more I questioned myself, and I was like doubtful about these things. And so I did become more open.
Yeah.
And I feel like I became way more open than I ever. And I even like, I was so against like the dating app thing and whatever, or going to these singles events. And I was just like, oh my gosh, that's so unromantic. You know, I had like this idea of how it should be. And so I was like, okay, fine, I'm going to do these things and be more open.
Yeah.
And I feel like even in doing those things, I'm not necessarily seeing better results.
Yo.
Yeah.
I've had with somebody, I said to me, you know, after a failed situationship, said to me, at least you were open. And I mean, I love the heart where that it came from, because, you know, I think a lot of people looking in think that maybe I have like a commitment issue. Maybe I have commitment issues, but this whole idea of just being, being open is like, I feel like I'm kind of doing it for other people. So it doesn't feel like I'm not trying, you know? And that's totally not the case. And just like you, I feel like my standards have been tested, and they're there for a reason. And every time I've tried to veer away or be more open, I still drawn back to what those standards are, and it actually only validates the fact that rather wait, just rather wait.
I'm like led a lot by my intuition and my gut, and so the relationship with openness is always such a tricky one for me, because I desire to be more open. But I'm not as open as I desire.
Yeah.
With each person I have whatever it is with, for me it always has very, very deep meaning. You know, it's a moment in time on my path that is doing something for me. So it's always filled with that.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why it's been a bit hard for me, you know, but bringing it back to New York, you know, when I first came here, I did feel devastated. Like I experienced a real loss.
Yeah.
It's like there was a part of me that did think that there was no hope, you know. I say it laughing, but there was a part of me that genuinely felt that way. So I think experiencing that in the city allowed me to be more open to just exploring something else, something new. I feel like the experience I had just lifted me out of a place that I couldn't even say I was in.
Yeah.
It just it just lifted me up. And even now, you know, it's like whatever joy I have, it's like part of it comes from that place. You know, there's a certain joy that I wouldn't be able to experience now.